Hey, it's Jez here from JezWeb and Roo Commander. So, one of the problems I have when I'm working on Roo Commander, and I think this will turn out to be kind of a thing to look at in the future, is when you want to have a meta discussion with Roo Commander or any mode about itself or other modes. So, if I start asking the mode to look at the instructions and the interactions that I've had with another mode, like another agent, right? As soon as it starts to refer to a tool use, what happens is that the agent or the mode that you're talking to, it'll accidentally put the tool description into the chat. And as soon as that happens, Roo Code will execute the tool use. And then you lose the chat thread basically because that tool then is like off trying to read a file or do whatever it is. And so I've been trying to find a way of having this kind of meta discussion where it's like chatting with Roo Code about itself effectively, which is it's actually really tricky for the AI to do because you're telling it to not do what it normally does, which is execute the commands that you're giving it, and to have a discussion about them instead. So I'm hoping this will work. So what I've done, I've added into Roo Commander and into the Prime Coordinator mode, which is like the other mode I tend to use to work on modes. I've added in this custom instruction, which effectively is to say, if it seems like I want to have a meta discussion, so like analyzing chat logs or task logs, troubleshooting behavior around tool use, discussing improvements to modes, rules, or workflows, or responding to feedback about tool interactions, or any situation where we're trying to talk about something that happened with a tool, then do not put that in the chat. Don't output an XML formatted tool into the chat, because as soon as that tool shows up XML formatted, it will be read in as an action to be like a tool to be used, and then you're off to the races of like not what you're trying to do. So I've given it that instruction and that it should mimic the output using like Markdown or something, some other way of describing it effectively, right? So don't use the XML structure at all. And also, as like an alternative, I've said, well, you could use a file. So you could write the contents of the discussion to a file, and I can go and read that there, because then it's not in the chat log, right? It's in a separate file, and it's not going to be actioned. So we'll see if this works. So I've added it in, and I'm hoping that it will actually achieve what I'm trying to do here. So it is actually in the rules file. So it'll be in every prompt. And I may need to take it out of Roo Commander because I don't want it affecting people's use of Roo Commander. However, the plan is and so what I've done, I've opened up a discussion to say I want to have a talk about this interaction I had with Repomix mode and like some issues I had with that. And so, it's talking to me about this here and giving me some examples of what we can do. And so let's have a go at adjusting that, but we'll do it in the workflow. So I don't want to do it in the mode because it won't be a great experience. But what it was doing was stacking questions into like multiple questions into a single request. Like, so when the mode makes a request, it can give you like options to choose from, and some number of basically a button. But what it can do is it can stack multiple questions into a single button, and then you've got to kind of like edit the text, and it's really untidy and a nuisance to work with. So yeah, so I'll see how this goes. I'll just use it on myself for a bit. But I'm hoping this might be a way of making it easier to operate on a mode and its commands, and to be having a like reflective discussion about tool use in a way that doesn't execute the tool use. So that's the plan. It may turn out that this does not work. The tool use directive is very strong, like it's, and intentionally so, because you want it to do the right thing and run the tool use as soon as it does. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping will help, but we shall see. I wonder if I can test it on another. So I'd like to have a chat about the tool use commands of Repomix mode, and what kind of defaults are configured for it. Yes, see, so it says it's a meta discussion. Great. So it shouldn't take over the chat with the tool use. It should write about it in a sensible, like abstract way. Yeah. Great. As long as I'm not catching, yeah, this is good. See, it's like talking about the actual tools, how they're used. So I'd like to make it more prominently understanding all of the commands and how they are used all the time. So this will lead to, so we work on creating some more files for the Repomix mode custom instructions. .roo rules folder. I guess I could just put the actual relative path in. I can use Vertex IMCP for research if you like, but also try getting Repomix to make a Repomix file of its own. Let's just see what their documentation looks like. Do they have a documentation thing? Probably not. I think it's all just on their website. Let's just get to use API research to gather details of commands and how they are used. We want to be capable of working on files locally and on GitHub. Well, not working on. Capable of making Repomix files locally in GitHub without making so many mistakes with the command line syntax. Let's see what it does. Okay, cool. So it's going to go and do a web query with Vertex AI. Excellent. So it shouldn't take too long to do its research, but it does take a little while. Like it goes and looks, in the Google Vertex Internet Archives and stuff. Oh yeah, cool. We've got a file. Excellent. There it is. Actually, this is all its instructions. Yeah, cool. That's great. It's pretty well summarized, actually. That looks pretty good. Just put all that in there, I reckon. It's probably going to split it up a little bit, which is good. So what I was finding is it would get things like the style command wrong. So it wouldn't use the style command to create the files like XML or Markdown, so it ended up doing it twice. What's it going to do? A few different files, hopefully. We're kind of giving it free rein to do what it thinks. Yeah, cool. So it's making examples of the way you would get different things done. That's good. I wonder how many files it's going to make. I might have said it before, I didn't notice. So let's watch it add them in. So it should show up in here. why it's stuck. Come on, what's going on? Not sure what's happening. Let's have another go. Come on. This is a bit of worry. What's going on here? It's a big file. It's the file that's trying to run. Somewhere further down here. What's going on? I wonder if I've broken it already. Come on. What's it doing? Let's have another go. The meta-discussion stuff I don't think should affect delegated tasks, but we will see. Starting to wonder if it's something else going on. Different mode to write file. Let's try a different mode and see. I don't know whether it's a problem with the prime documenter or it's just I have actually broken it with this subcommand sort of meta discussion stuff. What is it saying? The prime documenter? No, oh my goodness. Oh, it's alright. I reckon that was probably a Google problem. Okay, create the file. Oh, it's so slow. If Gemini's overloaded or something. Anyway. or it's having heavy thinking time. I don't know. What's this? Is this another file? What are we doing? Oh, syntax options. Cool. Okay. That's pretty interesting. Okay. Looks alright. Okay, how's it going? Yeah, it's made one rule. Okay, is it going to do another? This looks pretty good. Okay, going okay so far. So we've got remote processing, excellent. Local processing, filtering rules, syntax. This is good. This looking really good. we managed to get through all that without getting escaped. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's get vertex AI MCP to check those files for accuracy and suggest any improvements or issues or concerns to consider. Is it going to send the files? Hopefully. Yeah. We'll save its feedback. And later it can test the Repomix mode again. I think because it's such a niche topic that it doesn't have any real built-in smarts for it. So that's why we need all this stuff. You know, like the instructions for the syntax and that sort of thing. It probably doesn't hold much space in the memory of Gemini's instructions. I wonder if I've got another chat file here I could have a look at as an example. I'm assuming this will complete at some stage. It's taking its time. Doing lots of thinking. Yep, cool. What is this little arrow thing? What does this do? Disable word wrap. Copy code. What's the JSON bit? I don't know what that means. Okay, what did it say? Clarifying default values. Yes, good idea. Yeah, okay. Great. Yeah, let's do all these improvements. Cool. Yeah, awesome. I think there is some value in that review of, even though it's the same mode, so we can use Vertex to go and find the information. But then getting it to look at what you've made, that hones in on that information that's available in its knowledge, and it's like giving it a second opinion, effectively. So hopefully that means we'll have overall a much better details, like more specific information and more accurate information. And yeah, like the examples, that's really important for the AI because it tends to need that so it gets the pattern right. Oh, that's interesting. It's linking to the review docs. That's a bit of a worry because they don't get remain. Okay. Okay, we're gonna have to figure out what to do about that because those files don't keep existing. We'll have to do something that's like don't put like temporary files in as related documents because they just won't exist. Yeah, okay. I'll make a little note about that. Cool. Nice and clear instructions. This is good, seeing it all pretty well, like good clarity to the instructions, nicely summarized. It's good. It's looking good. Okay, it's updated that file. I might even go back and ask it if it thinks we should add any other files for completeness. Oh no, it's made a new file. Cool. Excellent. Copy file usage. Oh, it's doing a few. Okay, great. So it should be pretty comprehensive by the time it's done. That's good. Funny. So it's getting the prime dev mode to do the writing because it's like a coding kind of a thing. I think that's why it's decided to do that. Interesting. Yeah, I'll tell it to go back and store these files, and I'll think about how we do that better in the future. Great. All right. I'll let it run, but I've got to go. Leave it there. Looks like it's doing a good job. Is that what's going to do it? Oh. I just update the references to all those other files. Cool, it's done.